Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Boy, I'll tell you what an amazing week we've had. Absolutely, to be sure. We have just seen some tremendous activity in this space. It has been truly, truly a blessing. Well, guys, one of the articles that I was reading this morning, I thought this one was absolutely rich. And of course, it has to deal with, the economy and how things are going around the country and things like that. Well, apparently, a lot of these blue states are suffering a massive exodus because of the fact that people can save literally tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars moving to all of these other, states like Texas. And in fact, this particular article was talking about how New Yorkers, high income New York earners, can actually save like $250,000 a year moving out down here to Austin, Texas. And guys, I'll tell you something else. When Judy and I moved here to Texas ourselves, like we moved out into the countryside, have a nice little acreage out here and stuff like that, and kind of wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle. Well, lo and behold, the hustle and bustle has literally come to us. We have got neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood literally being built all around the place where I live. And I'll tell you, it is causing traffic like no tomorrow. They're having to widen roads, this and that. I'm not talking just a few houses. I'm talking literally absolute neighborhoods. They've built up over 1,000 new houses, and they're due to put up about another 2,500 more. And probably within 5 years, this whole area will be absolutely consumed all the way around it with a lot of, these neighborhoods and stuff like that. And that tells you an absolute a lot, because folks are just getting fed up with the high taxes and cost of living in states like New York and California. It is truly obscene. I mean, you can barely even make it. You're an average, let's say you're a two household earners, and both of you are making from 80 to 100 grand. That seems like a lot of dough, doesn't it? Making, household income of almost 200,000 a year. You can practically barely even make it at that. A lot of the homes, like, in California and New York and stuff like that, just your average home is well over $1 million. And some of them are climbing up there towards, $1.5 to $2 million. Can you imagine taking on a mortgage? Can you imagine if you put 20% down? And you put down like 200 grand, and you're looking at an $800,000 mortgage. Now, maybe for a lot of the younger generation there that are listening, and, you're used to those numbers because, of course, that's the reality. That's your reality of what's going on. But, excuse me. But for those of us, look, my first house, I kid you not, was $62,500, the first house that I had. And, and then, of course, subsequent houses, were a little bit more, nothing like, but nothing to the tune of multiple hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to buy an average house. What's going on right now with these prices is absolutely insane. Now, we are getting reports that, hey, we're going to be starting to see a big time downturn in a lot of the cost of these homes. And for the sake of these younger generations that want to be homeowners, well, in that case, I hope we do see a little bit of a drop. And look, you're not really out anything if the value of your house drops, if you're not in a selling position, are you? Because the reality is, look, Judy and I, we live in a fairly nice home and everything like that, but we don't have any intention on selling it. So for us, it's not really, some sort of a cash cow. And that's another thing, guys. A lot of people are out there taking big time lines of credit on their properties, and they're utilizing that to, afford a lifestyle. And to me, that's kind of almost insane in a way, to remortgage yourself after years of paying off a mortgage. Now you're going to go get a line of credit on the property and encumber it again. It's the never ever plan. That's the deal with that. It used to be the American dream was literally to go out there, get your little piece of the pie, have your white picket fence, the whole kind of romantic story of it all. And, get home ownership was a big deal. It was almost something that was written right into the fabric of what America really was. That's the American dream. Few people can live that dream today. And in fact, in a lot of cases, it has turned around to be a nightmare for them. Because look, I remember in that 2008 and 9 stuff, And it just absolutely devastated Judy and I. When we got married, we put all our dough into a property and stuff like that. And when 2008 and 9 came around and we were actually having to move from one province to the other and we were renting it out, we were so underwater with that we ended up letting it go. Now, we didn't, just drop the keys off at the bank. What we actually did is have someone come in and assume our mortgage from us. But we walked away from all of our equity, never missed any payments or anything like that. So we didn't get our credit dinged, but we lost all that money that we had put into it in the first place. And, at the time, because things were so tense at that time, it was actually for us an answer to prayer. We felt so relieved, But looking back, boy, did that ever set us back for a long, long time. And then a lot of people are facing that. So now you're hearing about all these folks. They're in a lot of these blue states where the taxes are out the door. And what are they doing? Boy, are they ever migrating out of there. And I'll tell you what, Texas is watching, a lot of migration coming into Texas, like in big, big droves. Now, Governor Abbott actually came out there and said, look, we're going to try and reduce the property taxes in Texas for the average citizens. They're going to even make it more advantageous for people to come here. And think about this, guys. How many folks are out there now absolutely able to do their jobs from home? Well, there's quite a few. And you're watching that because, of course, the digital economy has changed the way the marketplace has worked in a big, big way. A lot of companies, after that whole issue here, are thinking, why do we need to be paying all this money out to, this commercial real estate to provide office space when our employees did really well working from home to get all that we needed to do done. And so it would be better for us to have them do that. And so a lot of companies out there are allowing people to practically live wherever they want in the United States in order to, earn the income and work there. So it makes perfect sense why a lot of people are just saying adios, to a lot of these high taxes and ridiculous policies, and absolutely taking away, civil rights in some situations where, in some of these states, it really amazes me. I often think, being an immigrant to the United States and all that, and learning about, the constitutionality and the legal rights and all this kind of stuff, I often think, how is it even possible that some of these states have the ability to literally strip people of their constitutionally given rights? But that seems to be what's going on. And to me, I think it's absolutely obscene, but it's allowed. I just don't get it. But I'll tell you what, if you're one of those folks, you got a decent income, both you and your spouse and what, and you're living in one of these, blue states like New York State, like California State, and you're starting to think to yourself, well, geez Louise, my dollars could go way, way further to advance the lifestyle that I have by moving into a state like Texas or, Wyoming or, to Arizona, another one. Stuff like that. I think we're going to see a whole lot more of this. Now, guys, I've often said, look, Judy and I were able to retire and everything. We retired down here. But if we had been moving to California or something like that, I'll tell you what, our retirement would have looked a whole lot different than what it did moving here to Texas. And I just praise God for the ability to actually come down here and really see, the value of those dollars that we were able to cash out go way further than you would fathom in like a state like California, that is for sure. But this is a telltale thing, and I think we're going to see more and more and more of it because people are not, we're all waking up, aren't we? And we're looking at, what is the strength of my purchasing power? Where is my civil liberty going to get protected the most? And on top of that, what about the educations for my kids? How am I going to be able to afford some of this stuff going forward down the road? And what are my goals in life? And when you think about that, it's not necessarily where you live, but it's how you live, isn't it? And that's a big, big deal. How you live, your lifestyle. I know folks, that have retired, moved out of the United States into jurisdictions around the world where their retirement, literally, they can practically live like kings as a result. And, they're very, very happy in a lot of those places, but you're now seeing it in a big way right inside the country. That is something else. Oh, guys, it is Friday, and boy, I'll tell you, I love Fridays, obviously, because, hey, you know, it used to be Loverboy used to sing that song, Everybody's Working for the Weekend. Well, that's true. And even when you're retired, you're thinking, wow, it's Friday. What a great thing, you know. And we used to have that TGIF, you know, thank goodness it's Friday and all that kind of stuff. Well, that means the weekend's upon us. And I'll tell you what, the weekend really should be, and we try to make it for family and friends. And I get it. I know a lot of people have other jobs where they're doing stuff on the weekend too. But I sure hope you get to spend some time with your family and friends on the weekend. Really, that's what life is truly all about. It's about spending time together, enjoying the journey. It's not so much the destination, just the getting there, right? It's the journey along the way. And I sure hope you're having a fantastic journey. And look, guys, in situations where maybe right now you're hurting and you're not really enjoying your journey right now, I just want you to think about something. That is for now. It's not a forever deal. I know that because I've lived through that. Judy and I totally remember the times when we could only afford to literally buy one tomato, I kid you not, at a time. But we had one another, and I'll tell you, those are probably some of the most best memories that I have or that Judy has. Boy, we romanticize about those looking back and stuff like that. It was really, really amazing. Don't despise the day of your small beginnings, because you know how you start out really has an impact to where you end up, doesn't it? I mean, and look, along the way, hey, we're all gonna make mistakes. We're all gonna, have some ups and downs. That's just part of the story. That's what makes it an adventure. But the reality is, hey, we can have joy. Joy is not based on circumstances. Happiness is based on happenings. But joy comes from right deep down in there, and you can cultivate that and have that. I sure hope that you are developing that in your life right now, and you can see some joy. Weeping endures for an evening, joy comes in the morning. So guys, anyhow, I hope you're having an amazing Friday. And until later on when we have a fantastic video for you, have a great one and take care.